My name is Priscilla with Scylla Travel, and I help you live the dream through travel. And let's go to our slide deck. Let me introduce Mary. Hang on one second. Here we go. Today's topic is, don't listen to what they say, go see. Go see for yourself. So today we have Mary Oluonye here. She's our tour operator for our trip coming up next November, as well as she's an author. So Mary, just give us just a teeny tiny little background on you, if you don't mind.
I certainly don't mind. First, I'll say Happy New Year to everybody. And I'm so glad to be here. So I'm Mary Oluonye. You did a very good job with the pronunciation, I must say. But so as Priscilla said, I am an author. I've written several books for children as well as for adults. And I am one of the owners of Selmar Travel and Tours, US, Ghana-based travel company and tour operator on the ground in Ghana. Is that short enough for you?
Yes.
That is short enough bio?
Yeah. That was good. That was actually very good. Now I'm going to see if I can do all three. So I have a split screen and I have a slide deck. So this is a challenge, an extra challenge for me. So those of you who are out there, if you're live, please hashtag live, comment, put hashtag live. And if you're on the replay audience, I appreciate you. If you tune in on the replay, please type hashtag replay. And like I always do, I always check to make sure that I can see this on my phone because I'm a one-woman show. So I'm checking right now. It says it's live. It's saying that it's live. Yeah, I see it. It's live. Yay! I checked on my phone. See? That's how I have to do it. And these days of the internet, you know, COVID has made us learn how to learn a whole new set of skills. And I'm in IT. This is still a new set of skills for me. So let's see. Now, let me add the slide deck. Okay. All right. Yay, you did it. So those of you who don't know me, my name's Priscilla with Scylla Travel, experiential travel advisor. And I create personalized travel experiences for people who want to experience that bucket list trip, people who want to live the dream, people who want to, you know, get out of the humdrum. They want to do something different. You know, if you're tired of the everyday trips to the Caribbean, your plain Jane trips that you do every year, and you want to do something different, contact me. I can help you. And in this case, I'm doing a group trip to Ghana, and it will be November 20th through 21st, 2021. We're in 2021 now. So be sure to sign up and become a VIP. The link is in this post. You can go to my website and a pop-up will pop up there, or you can scroll down and you can see the trip and you can sign up to be a VIP because VIPs get special treatment. My VIPs get special offers, and I'll go into that later. So here's the trip. That's what it looks like. Get on the VIP list. Space is limited because this is a smaller type tour. It's not one of those huge tours where you have like 20, 30 people, sometimes 40 or 50. This is not that type of trip. This is an experiential trip where we get to experience the culture, the history, the heritage, and even go on a mini safari in the country of Ghana. So if you've never been to Africa, Ghana is the perfect place for you to come visit. So if you want to step foot on the continent of Africa and you're just a little bit nervous, come to Ghana. Come with me, visit me and Mary as we travel to Ghana and see the land of where our African ancestors left through the door of no return. And it's time to come back now. So, all right. So, like I said before, this is Mary. She's an author. She's an Africa tour operator. And the name of her company is Selmar Travel and Tours. And these are some of her writing products. I placed her writing products, links to her writing products in the post. So if you're interested, you can click, because she wrote 2 books. And I have the book, the first book, Moving to Ghana, because not only are some people interested in visiting the country of Ghana, they're also interested in moving there. So I got her book. So I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. Let's see if I can mess it up. There we go. I bought the book. And there's also a guide. This light here is just shining into my glasses and shining on the book. So here we go. This is a book, Moving to Ghana. And there's also a step-by-step guide, because in me planning this trip, I've run across a lot of people who actually say they want to relocate to Ghana. And I'm like, wow, when did this happen? Where have I been? So I downloaded her guide. It's called A Step-by-Step Guide to Moving to Africa. So the link to that is also in this post. So all you do is you can order the book from Amazon. It's like $10. Sorry about that. And if you do Kindle, it's like $4.99. So that's the book. And then the checklist is absolutely free. So just go click the links and you can get both of these products. Now let me get back to our slides. Okay, so early registration is coming up this week. Get on the VIP list. I will be releasing the trip, and those of you who are on the VIP list, you get $500 off. So now we're going to go back to our discussion. We're having a Q&A for people interested in visiting Ghana. And I have a list of questions that people come up with. And so I figured, who better than Mary to answer some of these questions? So let me look over here to my questions and see. I meant to print them off, but of course I didn't. Okay, so we've got a list of questions. And if you've got questions, like if you're interested in visiting the country of Ghana and you might be a little nervous and because you've just never been to Africa before. And I just have to say, us as African Americans, we really don't learn hardly anything about the continent of Africa at all. It's up to us to learn. And now is the perfect time to do that. So people travel to the continent all the time, all the time. They love it. It's just a holiday for them. And the continent of Africa is made up of 54 countries, mind you. I say this all the time. Ghana is just in West Africa. That's the location where the majority, like West and Central Africa, where of the majority of people who were trafficked basically during the slave trade, and they left from West Africa, that coastline, to come to the New World. So the majority of the descendants here in the United States, South America, Caribbean, the majority of the descendants of those enslaved people, their ancestors come from West Africa and Central Africa. There's some in the East, but the majority West Africa. And that's why West Africa is significant. So question number 1. All right, Mary. Here's just a question somebody asks. Let me pull it over here so it's just, I don't have to turn my head. It's just so weird doing this stuff live. And okay, here we go. Question number 1. I don't know anything about Ghana. What is there to see and what's there to do?
Okay, so like you mentioned, Ghana is in West Africa. There is so much to see and do in Ghana. First of all, Ghana lies right along the Atlantic Ocean. So if you're a beach kind of a person, we have beaches in Ghana, pristine, beautiful beaches. We have mountains, lakes, rivers, rainforests, savanna. So there's so much to see in terms of just the geography alone, landscapes. That's one thing. But also, as you mentioned before, Ghana was one of the areas that Africans, enslaved Africans, were taken from and transported via this transatlantic slave trade. So there are castles, and you can see the castles and you can see the dungeons where enslaved Africans were kept. So there's that strong heritage tie between the Americas and Ghana. But there's more to Ghana than all, the sad or somber things. There's hiking, there's eco-tourism, ecotourism. If you like paragliding, if you like resorts, spas, getaways, food, music, culture. If you want to find out about kente cloth, you probably hear about kente cloth. That's
Yes.
Ghana.
Yes.
All those Adinkra symbols, that's Ghana. Or maybe you've heard of the mighty Ashanti.
Oh,
That's
yes,
Ghana.
ma'am. Yes.
Mhm. When you see the gold that they wear, that's the Ashanti in the area of the country, the Ashanti region. I mean, there's so much to see and do. I mean, so varied. So whatever you want, really, we have it there in Ghana. There's a lot to see and do.
Wonderful. So we'll actually be visiting the Ashanti Kingdom, and maybe we'll be able to see the golden stool. I doubt that, but
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You never know.
so there's actually a king there, and his title is the Asantahini or Asantahini, right? That's how you pronounce it. I really need to get better. But there's a king there. So, and the mighty Ashanti people actually resisted the British. And how they were defeated is it was another tribe who couldn't beat them, and they elicited help from the British. That's how they were able to defeat the mighty Ashanti. So if it weren't for that, the British would not have been able to take over the region. And it became known as the Gold Coast. That was before the country of Ghana gained its independence. And Ghana was actually the first country in Africa to gain independence from European powers. With the exception of Ethiopia, they were never colonized, but they were the first. And that war, there was a war going on in Kumasi. That's the capital of the Ashanti Kingdom. I believe it was a long war that they had with the British. So it was not like a couple of years or so. It was a long war. I don't want to say the length of time, but the British were not able to defeat them. But for another tribe collaborating with the British, that's how they were able to beat them. I just have to point that out. So I feel it's quite interesting because we really don't know and we never hear about these things.
It's a complicated history, and multiple tribes, ethnic groups in Africa, some of them traditional friends and some of them traditional enemies over time, even before the colonial times. So sometimes when other people come into a place, they take a look at the situation and how to exploit the differences sometimes, and divide and conquer sometimes, a lot of times works.
Yeah, it generally does work. Divide and conquer. So, yeah, the culture is so rich because there are many different people there. It's not just one big giant country.
No.
And even the countries themselves, they were created after colonial times, and they were still based on the European colonies. So many of the people groups they might live in Ghana, and they might live in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, or they may live in Nigeria, because I know there are some Yoruba people in Ghana, in certain areas of Ghana, and I think it's Benin and Togo, I'm not sure. But the people groups had these regions where they lived. It's just that the colonists came and carved it up.
So the artificial boundaries.
Right.
So you're putting people who are totally different together and saying all of a sudden you're one country, and you have multiple people who were separate peoples before. So that's one of the problems, long-lasting problems in Africa, because of that scramble for Africa. And when Africa was divided up into our artificial countries. But it was in the past, but we try and work out differences now. We move
Yeah,
forward. No, we're
yeah,
not going backwards. We're going to keep going
yeah.
forward
Going
together.
forward.
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of which, here's a comment that I get from people, or a question. I can't identify with people in Africa. Why should I go there?
Okay. Well, I'm one of those people who believes, the more you know about people, it opens your mind, expands your horizons, and you learn so much by actually going places and talking to people. So sometimes you think you're also different, and sometimes you're fed information through the media. So sometimes you have to be careful what you believe, and what you believe on seen on through the media, Western media, because sometimes that might cause you to have a preconceived notion of a people or a place. So sometimes it's good to come and see for yourself. Um, so in traveling, no matter where you go, you may find out that there's something you can identify with. It's funny, people are different, but they're alike in so many ways. So I think traveling, open your mind, come and see, especially for African Americans in particular. There's a genetic heritage we share.
Right.
Ancestors came from West Africa. So
Yes.
sometimes I've heard it say when people come to visit with us, as soon as they get off the plane, there's a feeling they get. They can't even explain where this feeling comes from, but they get this feeling that there may be home, a
Right.
sense of belonging, a sense of being in a place where everybody looks like you. Because
Yeah.
it's where you think you see your relative in a face walking down the road, you know, and you may think you're quite different, but you're different, but maybe the same similarities. So come and see, give it a chance. That's what I say.
Yes, exactly. So that's what we plan to do. And I'm glad you mentioned that about the shared genetics and the shared DNA, because I'm actually um, inviting my followers and viewers to come with me on my journey, because that's a part of this entire effort. Is I've done my DNA. I started out with 23andMe, and I discovered that I am like 22%, 22.4% Nigerian, then like 22.3% Ghanaian, Liberian and Sierra Leone. That's what it's grouped as. And then like another 15% Senegambian. So I think that's the Gambia, that region, but it's still West Africa.
Mhm.
So what I did was I recently, a few weeks ago, got African ancestry DNA test. I did the kit and I sent my test results, or my saliva sample, back, and I should have my results back in they said February, and then I'll know actual tribe. So they're actually able to map to your actual tribe. In my case, it'll probably, I know it'll be tribes, plural, but at least I'll know, so because, it's hard to know where you fit in, maybe where did I get certain looks, certain features, and why am I chubby? Why are some people not so chubby? Why am I tall? Why is someone else short? It's just all of these questions you have.
Correct.
Yeah. So now, question number 4. Here's another thing that I hear from people. I've heard nothing. I've heard that there's nothing to see in Africa, and the people are all poor there. Is that true? So that's actually a question that I get.
That is not true. That is not true. Number one, Africa is 54 countries, right? You have north, south, east, west, and within one country, you can find many different geographies, people, cultures, traditions, languages in just one country. Their food, clothing, everything. I mean, you can find so much in just one country. Now, multiply that times 54. Multiply
Yeah.
that times 54. It's an amazing ancient continent. It's huge. And it's a welcoming place as well. You know, the people are very welcoming. You find them more easygoing than in some Western countries. Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And, you know, and as for poverty, there's no country in this world that you don't have good, bad, ugly, rich, middle, and poor. Yes,
that's
we have
true.
poor people. Yes, there are poor people in every country in Africa, and there are poor people in the United States, there are poor people in India, there are poor people everywhere. So, yes, they're poor, but they are very rich as well. Very rich people, growing middle class. According to all economic experts, Africa is the growing continent to watch. They are a young continent and they are growing really fast. They are ahead of us in technology. In a lot of cases, the young people are very brilliant, innovative, and tech savvy. So Africa is where it is going to be in the future. And you'll find that you think there's nothing there, but other countries have a lot of their citizens coming to African countries. They're coming
Definitely.
for good. They're coming for good reason. They're coming for vacation, leisure. You know, they're surprised at what they see. But we also have what the world needs in terms of resources, and the future is Africa. So I'm inviting you. I always say people, especially people who have a genetic tie to Africa, should come and see for themselves why people from all over the world are coming to Africa. You should come. Don't be left
Yes,
behind.
I agree. I definitely agree. Not only do people come there to vacation, they come there to invest because they see that all of the resources and the opportunities that are there.
Right
So
there.
yeah,
There's a lot of opportunity there. And you know, and the countries are welcoming. If you want to come and invest and help build the country, a lot of the countries are open to that. And so, yes, I want to make sure people know we're not all poor, nor do we all want handouts in Africa. With educated people, they're highly educated. When you look at the immigrants in other countries, the Africans are the very educated ones. So, yeah, we have a lot in
that
terms
is
of
true.
material acquisitions, if that's what you want to call it. They are rich, middle, poor.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's see. There's one more question. It's sort of related to that one, and this is just the elephant in the room. We're just going to address it. It's I heard that African people look down on African Americans. Will I be welcome there? So that's a rumor. That's something that's been going around, circulating in the African American community, and I just thought we should address that.
Might as well, because I've even given talks where we had community talks about this same situation, where Africans came together with African Americans to just lay everything out on the line and talk about the things that divide us. Of course, the
Right.
division started early. We bought into uh, divisions artificially created by others.
Yeah.
And yes, we have. So we've let others divide us in a way. And so we need to stop that. We need to just stop that.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a schism, and I think it comes um, from not understanding each other well enough. In America, and I know because I'm also American, I'm Nigerian first, American, I call myself Nigerian American. I have parents of one Nigerian, my dad, my mom's American. I've lived in both countries, you know, growing up throughout to all to college days, you know, I go back and forth. So I can see things from 2 points of view, you know. And I
Okay.
know, yeah, I do, because I had to experience when when we were growing up. Some years we were in America, some years we were in Nigeria. Every time we came to America, we had to deal with being teased and all kinds of misperceptions about Africans. And the worst treatment came from, of all people, the African Americans. So then we realized at that time we had to be on guard. You feel like, oh my goodness, the ones you thought would be with you are the very ones who are not so with you. So you hold back a little bit until
Right.
you get there. Yes. But it was easier when I was in Nigeria. We were not teased as much. But that was a while ago. But there's still a little bit of friction between African Americans and Africans. We don't understand each other well enough. We've bought into some things about each other because there are misperceptions about African Americans, in Africa, just as there are misperceptions about Africans in America. You
That's
understand?
true.
Yes,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's education. It's education. And part of education is becoming a global citizen and getting out there and meeting people, such as a tour. Go
Yes.
see, talk to people, keep an
Travel.
open mind, travel with us, come back. And come back. And one of the first books I actually wrote was a book called Nigeria. It was first published book for children on the country profile Nigeria, which is in libraries. They use them in schools and libraries. I wrote the book because precisely to educate people on the misperceptions that were out there about Africans. So there's still a lot of work to be done, I think, but it's educating ourselves, not
Yeah.
waiting for someone else to come and educate us about ourselves because we see where that has taken us.
Yes. Not very far. So I remember growing up, and I grew up in New York, and we didn't learn anything about Black history. It's called Black history, and that's a whole thing in itself because some people don't identify with the term African Americans because they can't identify with Africans and they want to be called Black Americans. And I'm like, when I was a kid, I'm like, really? There were worse things we were called. I grew up in the 70s. I was in school age at that time. I was born in the 60s. So, like, I'm not going to say anything else about that. But growing up in New York, we didn't learn that in school. So the parents took it upon themselves and I remember to this day buying these Black history cards. And my mother made us learn, and she would quiz us on these characters, these people, like Sojourner Truth, Maya Angelou, Wilma Rudolph. Like my first autobiography that I read was the autobiography of Wilma Rudolph, who I would have never learned about these people if my mom didn't say, we have to educate you. She and other parents, they were like, we have to educate our children so they have a better image of themselves. And that's, that makes a big difference. And I think that with the term and just some people getting wound around the axle about African American versus Black American is because many African Americans can't identify with Africans because we're so many generations removed and we just don't even have a connection at all. So like when you were a child, I remember when we had, like I said, I grew up in New York. I remember the kids getting teased. I remember that, but they always tease somebody different, right? So they tease the Jamaican kids and tease the Haitian kids and tease the African kids. But somebody always has to be below you. You have to tease someone, Same thing we see happening right now. But now that we're older, things are different, and I'm glad that they are. Because now, especially with what's going on in our country and in the world, and with COVID, and you have a different outlook. And now we're like, okay, so let's go find out for ourselves. So we hadn't really done a really good job. We started, back in the 60s and 70s talking about Black history and learning, but we didn't really take it far enough. I think that now the opportunity, the discussions are being had. We need to do that. We need to do more now that it's feasible for us to go. We should go. So I would advise any person that's of African descent, or the African diaspora or diaspora, however you want to pronounce it. That means people of African descent. I have to explain that because people don't know. And like you said, we just don't know enough about each other. But it's time to do better and learn better, because we learn all about Western civilization all in school. We have every opportunity. We get to travel. Why not travel to Africa and find out for ourselves? Don't believe what they tell us. Don't listen to what they say. Go see for yourself. So that's what this whole thing is about. And now let's see. I know I have another question.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah. And with respect to Ghana in particular, they have a reputation worldwide as being one of the most welcoming peoples ever. They're very welcoming, hospitable, polite people. Everybody that comes is so impressed by just the welcoming nature of the people. So, yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. We're very welcoming, and that's why they had this big year of return in 2019. Was it
Yes.
2019? Yes, where they welcomed anybody of African descent living anywhere in the world. You are welcome to come home to Ghana if you wanted to. And if you want to stay, you can stay. If you want to invest, you can invest. There are ways to do that. If you wanted to just come and experience living and working and then, having a business, just living in Ghana. They're very welcoming. And you saw, I don't know if you're aware of all the people that traveled to Ghana in 2019 for the year. There were a lot. And that was because of the welcome that Ghana's government extended to anyone of African descent living anywhere in the world. So that's very welcoming and friendly.
Yeah, it is actually. And this year, 2020 last year, 2020 was supposed to be beyond the return, but the coronavirus threw a monkey wrench in that, just upended that effort. So now it's 2021 beyond the return. So they're inviting us to come. And I'm sorry that I'm shifting around here. I'm standing, and my legs start to fall asleep there. But they're welcoming us to come back and see for ourselves. So that's another thing that you do. You don't just do your regular type tours where you see the attractions for fun and vacation. You also do tours for people who want to relocate or invest in Ghana. So that's just one of your specialties there. Do you want to talk just a little bit about that?
Sure. Because we have the package tours that one can go on, but we are strong in and specialized in custom design tours and experiences. One of the things we do is that people who are interested in are very serious about moving to Ghana, perhaps, or starting a business involving USA and Ghana, or just plain Ghana, is that we have tours that we are arranging for people to come. Uh, this will be it's more like work. It's not one of your tourists who see the iconic attractions and just pop from one place to another, just seeing the sights. That we may include a little bit of that, but the main thing is for you to see what it takes to live in Ghana. Where to Ghana you may want to live, how you're going to live, what you're going to do, the educational system if you have children, the healthcare system if that is it's a must. It's not if, it is a must. Immigration matters. So we'll walk with you step by step through meet the people you need to meet, learn what you need to learn, and give you all the information we can that will allow you to make an informed decision as to whether or not Ghana is the country for you.
Right.
If you're thinking about moving to another country, you have got to. It makes more sense to visit the country before making the big move.
Right. So that just start out on a visit. That's the first thing you do is you start by taking a trip. And sure, the trip that I'm doing is more of a culture tour. There is an element there of moving or investing in Ghana, because I did incorporate that into the trip. At the end, we'll have a presentation because it's important, and I'm hearing that people are interested in doing that. So whether you would like to, after this trip, decide that you want to move or invest in Ghana, you will have the resources and the ability to get the information and knowledge that you need so that you can make an informed decision and then decide what you want to do after this tour. So this is just the beginning. It's just us trying to get familiar with the people of the continent, find and learn about our heritage. You know, if you're of African descent, don't believe the hype, change the narrative, and not listen to the divisiveness. I think here in the US, we have enough of that. And so we need to look past the talking heads, you know, and dispel these myths and go see for ourselves. So I'm just going to take a break here for those people who just joined. I'm Priscilla with Scylla Travel, experiential travel advisor, and I've got Mary N. Oluonye. She is author and our tourist company for the Ghana 2021 trip coming up next November. And she's an expert in the field of relocating to Ghana, as well as putting tours together and bridging the gap between African Americans and Africans here in the US, because she's both African and Nigerian. So she has an accent, but she is half American and half Nigerian. So she's an African person. So she is just representative of us, just sped up a few generations. So if you're live, please comment #live. If you're in the replay audience, please say #replay. And let me know if anybody's got any comments or any questions about the upcoming trip, or any other questions about visiting the country of Ghana, things that you've always wanted to know, or Africa in general, because Mary is also from Nigeria. So that being said, I don't see any comments. However, if you're on the replay, I will get to answer your questions. So the next, we're doing a Q&A session. So the next question in our Q&A list here, because I collected this a list of common questions that I get since I've been talking about visiting Africa. Okay, so let's see. Here's something we probably talked about this one already. I think we sort of did, because we led into the conversation. It's about, I'm thinking about moving to Africa, but I don't know where to start and what should I do first. And Mary just basically talked about that, about, you know, you've got to know, you got to come for yourself. And Mary's company also does those types of tours and assists people who are interested in relocating to the continent. One other question is, will I be safe in Ghana? Can I be kidnapped? Is it dangerous? These are just, you know, questions because people just don't know. And, you know, we might as well just address the elephant in the room since we've got this platform.
Okay. Well, Ghana is a relatively safe country. Stable, relatively safe. But you have to use common sense too. No matter where you are in the world, there are some places you won't go to. If you're unfamiliar with a place in the middle of the night, like I wouldn't go walking through some places in Chicago because I don't know where to go that's safe or not safe, you know. So it's just common sense. But it is very safe in Ghana. When I was in Ghana, I could be in a village that I'd never been to before, and I had no qualms about walking outside early morning through the village and emerging on a beach, pristine beach in the morning. No fear at all, no concern at all. I never felt fear anywhere in Ghana, and I have been around a lot of places in Ghana. So it is relatively safe. But of course, you know, there's petty crime and whatnot, and you just have to be aware of where you go. And of course, if you're coming on tour with us, our tour managers, our tour guides, we're with you the whole time. So, you know, we know what we're doing. We we are expert at what we do. We know where you go to keep you safe. But it's a relatively safe country. I felt much safer there than I felt here in the United States. Like it's true. One day I drove from Ohio to Chicago. I realized I took the back roads. And
Yeah,
everybody, oh my goodness, you did that by yourself? And they were scared for me. Whereas in Ghana, I never ever felt that way.
right,
I've been to India. In India, I felt a fear that I never felt anywhere before in my life. That was India in certain areas. So
right.
you're not going to be kidnapped. Of course, there are some countries where you have to be careful in Africa, and you have to know what's going on in a country. It's not that you just go somewhere and blind. You have to know where you're going. Some countries there are situations where you could be kidnapped, or there is unrest, or what is it, religious um, unrest or ethnic
Yeah.
unrest. So you do your homework. But as for being kidnapped, that's it's hardly likely in Ghana.
Right. So, yeah, so that goes to being an informed traveler and why you should hire a travel agent or a travel
Correct.
advisor, because that person is an expert and they know the places that you can go. They know what the requirements are and they can help you with your expectations, manage those expectations. So if there's some place that you're interested in going and we know that there's a war there, we're going to be like, no, 86 that they're fighting there. So, but Ghana is not one of those countries. So Ghana is a stable country. It's a stable democracy. Democracy, I say. They
Mhm.
just had an election there and there was no fighting. None. So I wish
Yeah,
we could say that. I'm just fed up right now.
we know. It's like,
Okay, next question. What language do the Ghanaian people speak?
well, English is the official language. So if you're speaking English, you won't have a problem in Ghana. Most people speak English, especially in the big cities and towns. Even in the village, you can get by. When you travel with us or with any other travel agency or with tour operators, your tour guide is with you most of the time. At least with us, your tour guide and tour manager is with you at all times, so we won't have a problem at all. So while English is a major official language, Ghana is home to many other languages. There is Twi, spelled TWI. There's Ewe, there's Ga, there's Akan, and I can't remember. There's so many. Even
Yeah.
like a country like Nigeria, in Nigeria we have over 200 separate languages in
Oh,
addition
yeah.
to English. Yes. So
So,
most countries are like that, and people
yeah,
switch between languages. It's good because it's a great thing to see people who speak English and then they switch off to another one, then they switch off to a third one, which is something we don't do as much here.
no, we're not multilingual. I always wanted to be multilingual or even
Mhm.
bilingual growing up, but I always wanted to be from somewhere because growing up in New York, everyone was from somewhere.
You're from somewhere.
I was like, we're from the South. We're from the South. So I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, the Charleston, South Carolina area. And I used to claim that I'm from the South. That's where I am. I am from somewhere. So
You are.
but I want to reconnect with my African ancestry and heritage. It's just
Mhm.
something I've always wondered about. I growing up when my parents told us about my great grandmother, she was born a slave, and we have her picture, but she's the only like relative that all of the living people can remember.
Mhm.
We don't know anything about anyone else. And she was like the matriarch of these generations, the modern generations. And I asked my grandma who was her mother, She was like, she doesn't know who her mother was. She didn't have one. I'm like, Grandma, how could she not have a mom? But they didn't want to tell me. I was very small. She was a slave and she was traded. She was taken from her, separated from her family. So when my parents explained that to me, I was just like shocked and hurt. I was like, oh my God, what does that mean? And I was like, oh no, so that's a thing, it's just, you know, but just discovering that there is something to our kind before slavery. There's a reason why they were brought here as slaves, because they were brought here as skilled laborers. They knew how to grow rice. They knew how to do things that the Europeans didn't, the Americans didn't know how to do. So that's why they were brought here. So they were resources. So now back to our questions. We're almost done. What kind of food can I expect to eat over there? Do they eat wild animals?
How wild? How wild? No, no, I'm just joking. No, I mean they have cuisine, all kinds. You have your local cuisine, your Ghanaian foods. They like banku and soup, or kenke and soup, or fufu and soup. There's rice, there's plantain. Those are local foods, rice and beans. Sometimes Jamaicans come to um, Ghana and they say, wow, this food, there's so much that it's so similar between food and culture and tradition of Ghana and Jamaica. So some things might be familiar to you.
Yeah.
And the food is delicious, though. I mean, I eat everything there.
Yeah.
I eat everything. And they have a lot of fish because they're by the ocean. A lot of fish dishes. But you also have Western dishes. Most restaurants will have all your Western dishes. And then they have the Asian foods. You can find Japanese restaurants. You can find Indian restaurants. You can find Pizza Hut. There are malls where you can find all the some fast foods with a little bit of spice, African style fast food, and you have all a range of food. It's all good.
Yeah, I like spice, even though it makes me cough because I put too much on it, and then it's because my sinuses. But I still love it, though. I love spicy food, and I love seafood. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Down here, this is where the Gullah Geechee culture, the descendants who, they were brought here to the Charleston area. That's where they, during the triangle, during the trade, they went to the Caribbean and then they came to Charleston. That was the port. And then they were sold and dispersed from there. But the people who still live on the coastal areas, they have a dialect. It's called Gullah. And, but it's a mixture of people from different tribes, right? And they mixed with the different cultural things. And some of these things that I can see in our African American culture from the South. There's a dish called red rice, which is reminiscent of jollof because
Jello.
it's made with a tomato base, and you put stuff in it. People put like bacon and sausage and things in that, but that's more of a African American tradition because the people who were slaves, they got the bad parts of the meat, like the ears, the pig tails, all those things that were discarded. So they learned to eat those things and flavor their food with those things. So you find those things in the food, although these days we try to be more healthy and we try to substitute
We try.
turkey and things like that. But still, it's the basic there. You can, with that red rice and that jollof. I can't wait to taste the jollof. And by the way, I love plantains. So
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Brooklyn, so my neighborhood was Caribbean. We used to say West Indian then. So I grew up eating plantains. I love plantains, and tamarind, and all of those like Jamaican, Caribbean type meals. I love curry goat. I love curry goat.
Goat, all right. Goat. They eat a lot of goat. They also have like fresh foods, like on driving along the roads, you might stop and buy roasted corn, or you have mangoes all over the place. You have what else? Coconut, when they just lop off the top and you drink the coconut water directly from the coconut. You have a lot of fresh foods, so much more so there than here. There are
Yeah.
no, you know how here you have food deserts where you can't find fresh food, fruits and vegetables, and then you driving along the side of the roads in Ghana, you see mounds and mounds of veggies and fruit. You can just stop and ask somebody to bring something to the car, and the food, more organic, healthier. I
Yeah.
remember every time I'm in, say, in Nigeria or Ghana, I eat more, but I don't gain the weight. As soon
Yeah.
as I get back to the US, eat less and still gain the weight because of the
Yeah.
additives they put in the
Have the
food.
additives in it. So, like people have gotten away from growing their own food, right? Because like my parents and grandparents, they farmed, but they left and went to the cities like Chicago and New York and things like that. And then, the big agribusinesses took over. So, the little farmer, they don't make any money anymore. So it's like a hobby. But my husband, mind you, they had gardens because they grew up in the country and a little place called Jacksonboro, and there were a lot of them, and they had a garden, and their dad raised like pigs, so they would have meat and um, food to eat, because like you said, a lot of people grow up poor. We're doing so much better now, but then again, think of the food. I have to learn how to grow stuff. I bought a raised garden and trying to learn how to grow some food. And during the summer, I started going to the farmers market during COVID because we couldn't find groceries in the stores. And then I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to just try to go organic. But
And
it's
the
more,
food tastes better.
it does.
It
What is
tastes better. It's more flavorful because it's not forced ripened and it's not full of whatever chemicals they stuffed the product with. So the food is healthier.
Yeah, it is. And you get it directly from the farmer.
Hmm.
So I can't wait for them. They're supposed to reopen again in January. They shut down after Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh no. They're like, "Come back in January." I'm like, yeah, you need to come back because I need to go back and get my meats and vegetables and things like that. Okay, now back to our Q&A. This is Priscilla Wasilla Travel with Mary N. Oluonye. She is a tour operator and author. Um, and she is the tour operator for our Ghana 2021 trip. And we're just doing some Q&A because I had a lot of questions from people who had questions and concerns about going to Africa, going to Ghana. So that's what we're doing right now. Let's see, what's the next question? Oh, where would I stay? Do they have nice places or hotels to stay in Ghana?
They do. Very nice. You have a range of accommodations. You can go from real budget hostels all the way to 5+ stars hotels, resorts, and spas. So one of the things people are always so surprised to see is just the high level of sophistication that they can find in Ghana hotels. So yes, we have the whole range. If you want a 5-star accommodation, you'll get it. If you want 3 to 5 stars, you'll get it. If you want budget, you'll get it. A lot of students and visitors from Europe, they do the backpacking thing and stay
Yeah.
in. And
Hostels?
yes, and they like it. They manage. They enjoy themselves. We
Yeah,
have it
they
all.
save money. They don't have money. College students don't have money. So yeah, and they're
And they
literacy.
travel.
They can do it.
But they get from place to place, and they
Yeah.
are enjoying it and made to feel welcome and have fun wherever they do rest their bones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so another question. What's the currency in Ghana? And
Can
how
you?
will I be able to buy things?
Okay. Their currency is called CDs. CDs. One CD, $1 equals 5 CDs at this time.
Okay.
If you had $100, you get 570 CDs at this today.
Wow. Okay.
Today, so your dollar goes a long way there. Um, you can bring in a certain amount of money. I think under 10,000, or I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. But you can bring in a lot of money, or you can have some money in your account and you can use your debit card in Ghana. There are lots of ATMs. Um, when you do come with your dollars, when you get closer to making your trip, when you bring your dollars, you want to bring the newer bills, not older bills, because sometimes they will reject your old bills. So you want yes, you want the larger bills because when you exchange your money, you get a better rate.
Okay.
And yeah, that's something to know. And older bills may be rejected.
Thank you.
Um, you're welcome. And so you can use your like ATMs. We'll show you where, as your tour guides and operator, we show you where to exchange your money. You bring in your US dollars and where you get the better exchange rates. We can show you where. And yeah, I think that's about it. Your dollar goes a long way.
Okay. That's good to know, Mary. I think we've got like just a few more questions left. I know I jumped around there.
Oh, no
Um,
problem.
what's the weather like there in Ghana and the geography?
Okay, like geography, we talked about before a little bit. We have the beaches, especially, in Accra, Greater Accra region, in the central region, in the around Cape Coast, Elmina, where the castles are. There's pristine, beautiful beaches. I'm telling you, I'm a beach person. I'm a water person, so you have to. I like to be by the water, and they have the beaches, and then they have the lakes and the rivers. So you have that. You have the mountains. My the other co-owner, she's a mountain person. She doesn't like the beach, so she freaks out on the water, and I freak out on the mountains because they're really high. The rainforest, you can be driving along and see all this vegetation. Cocoa, Ghana is a leading producer of cocoa. So
Yeah.
yes, cocoa plantations, rubber plantations, the rainforests. I mean, Ghana has some of everything. And then Savannah in the north. That's where you have the safari.
Yes.
And there was something before that. It was geography and something before geography.
Let's see. I know it was what kind of shots do people need to travel there?
Okay. Oh, the other one was the weather. The weather is
Oh, that's
tropical.
right, the weather. The
Yeah.
weather. Sorry about that. I
Okay.
jumped around.
Tropical, you have rainy and you have dry. So right now it's a dry season. So rainy season is more around May, June, July, August. Rainy season, people get the idea that it rains all the time. No, it rains sometime during the day, stops, dries up, rains again later, and then it's on and off all day,
Like
but not
Orlando, Florida.
something like that. But it's
It's
warm, and it doesn't stop anything from happening. Everything goes on, and
Yep,
now,
that's how it is there. You just walk in and then all of a sudden, boom, a downpour, and then you whip out your, if you go into Disney, mind you, you have to pay an arm and a leg for one of those cheap plastic like poncho things.
oh,
And then you
yeah,
walk around with it and then it dries up and it gets like super hot, and then later on it'll rain again and then it'll dry up. Yeah, so yeah, we know
yeah.
how it is. So I'm in the South, so it gets really hot here
Hmm.
as well in South Carolina. I mean, it gets really, really hot. So um, it gets in the hundreds, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, and it feels tropical, and we've got all these mosquitoes and all kinds of stuff and bugs and yeah, humidity here
yeah.
in where I live right now.
Oh,
Okay.
similar.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
similar.
but thank God it got a little cool recently. Now
Hmm.
I'm just happy. But then it's hot again. I had to turn the air conditioner back on
Yeah.
today. So it was like cold for like 2 days and then it's hot again. So okay, so I think I think that's all the questions, but I had one question, and this came up during my family time that we had during New Year's. And these are questions about safari. So
Okay.
I explained that there are many types of safari. And a lot of times people have the idea in their mind of the safari where people are in a Jeep right there with some elephants, you know, filming. Of course, they're on TV, they're going to be filming and doing that. They're daredevils. But
Yeah.
in Ghana, there's all different types of terrain, different types of animals live in different areas. But we're going to be going to Mole National Park in the northern region, and that is the safari tour. And could you explain just a little bit about how they do their safari there? I know it's not like the ones they do in the southern part of Africa.
I didn't hear the part of the question. You said explain.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you explain a little, because we do have a little feedback here, about what to expect from the safari in Mole National Park, because that is one of the places we will be visiting on our trip next year.
Okay, that one I think is more like the Jeep riding through the area and hoping you spot those big elephants and the other animals. It's not like what you'd see in like the Big Five
Yeah.
in South Africa or Tanzania or
Yeah.
Kenya. Yeah, but they will see some wild animals, and it's kind of isolated out there because you're going to be staying at a lodge, and then the rangers will come early in the day to take you out, and so because that's the best time to try and spot some animals.
Right. Yeah. Early in the morning when they're moving around.
Yes,
Like going
and
hunting.
our tour managers work with the rangers there at the
Okay.
park too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have our tour managers are with you, but we turn it over to for the real for the guiding to the specialists in that area.
Okay.
In the park. Because,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going on one of those big five safaris.
You're not going to see the big zebra and the big gazelles and the wildebeests and the Great Migration, that kind of thing that they see on National Geographic. No. But you'll see something though. You'll see the West Africa is a different ballgame.
Yeah,
Know,
it's
expectations. I want expectations. It's a different part of Africa. All
right.
Africa is not the same.
Right.
You'll come and see West Africa. It's a whole different ballgame. I'm just so excited for people who are going to come because I think Ghana will blow them away.
I'm already blown away. I'm waiting to see who I'm related to. I want to know.
You'll just start seeing them at the airport. You just say, "Hey, that person looks so familiar. Oh, this one looks familiar." And you asked me something also about shots you might need.
Yes.
Yellow fever. Yellow fever is a requirement to enter.
Okay.
And also, well, when the times of coronavirus, I don't know what's happening by November, but right now people have to be tested before you go and once you get there.
That's everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
That's everywhere.
And another thing about traveling to Ghana is anti-malarial. You definitely want to have some anti-malarial tablets on hand just in case of incasity.
Yeah.
Oh, but other than that, not much more.
So good. So it was really nice. I really appreciate you coming on today and talking because I'm going to be launching the trip this week.
Okay.
And right now I'm doing a promo for VIPs. It's still open for people to become VIPs where they get the discounts.
Okay.
And this is Mary N. Oluonye, and she is an author, wrote 2 books. One of the books that we talked about was Moving to Ghana. Boy, that light, I tell you.
I'm telling you.
moving to Ghana. Let's see. It's in the post here. The essential things you need to know. That's because I get people who want to move there. So she wrote this book. It's only $10, I believe, from Amazon. The link is there. And then she also has a step-by-step guide. There's no charge for this guide here. Guide to Moving to Africa. It's a PDF. The link to that is also in the bio, not the bio, but inside. I'm so used to Instagram. It's also inside this post. You can download that. You'll have to sign up, enter your name and email, and then you can get an immediate download of that document for those of you, or if you know people who are interested in moving to Ghana and what they need to know, because it's a thing now. So a lot of people are interested in that. I get queries about it, so another thing to mention, Mary, is also not only they do your culture tours, they also do tours for people who are interested in investing or moving to Ghana. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm going to check to see if anybody's got any comments or any questions. So we're doing good. Anybody out there, are you doing good? If you're interested and you like this presentation, hashtag visit Ghana. Just hashtag visit Ghana. Type it in the comments so I'll know and I'll see. So this is Mary from Selmar Tours and Travel, and she is one of the owners of the tour company that will be hosting us on our trip to Ghana, for those of you who desire to come and plan to come. So Mary, thank you. I certainly appreciate you coming, and I'm sure we'll have many more conversations. Oh, guys, don't forget to join the Facebook group. I'll have to add that link. Join the Facebook group, because that's what we'll be doing going forward. Any types of webinars or any other information sessions. If you have any questions, ask them in the Facebook group. So I will be posting a link to that. So thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you and visiting Ghana. I'm coming. We're coming.
Yeah,
thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye, all.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. That was wonderful. Now let me go back to my slide deck. So let's see if I can do this. So mentioning again, $500 off for VIP. So this is an extension, because the VIPs, that has been open for quite some time, but become a VIP and you get $500 off the cost of your trip. That's per person. So this is the early registration. Register to become a VIP, because the VIPs, number one, when the trip is open, when it's time to book, I will be notifying those VIPs, give you your coupon to get your $500 off, as well as there are some other benefits of being a VIP, like you get some Scylla travel gear. And like I said, you will be the first to get notified when booking is open. So I clicked too fast. So I know we talked about a little bit about what to expect when we go to Ghana. And we talked about the shots, and we talked about the COVID protocols. That's everywhere. Hopefully things will be different in November. I don't know. But in any event, I have a new service called Book with Confidence. And what that is for clients. And if you decide to come on this trip, you will become a client. So this is complimentary for clients. During this program, or with this program, I tell you, I inform you, give the information that you need so that you can make the right decisions in not only this trip, any other trip between now and Ghana. So things that you need to know and what to expect when you travel, before, during, after your trip. That's what this program is. And it is a Scylla travel service. And what you get are two resources. You get the Vacation Health and Safety Guide, and that's a 57-page download. and it's full of all the tips and resources that you need in case you're one of those people that just need to know everything. You will have this guide. We'll have a link to all of the authoritative sources. You will have access to know what kind of health supplies to bring with you. And this is not only applicable to Ghana, but to anywhere in the world you decide to travel to. You'll be able to find the nearest COVID-19 test, guide, information and tips on the best places to sit on an airplane, also knowing how to lower your risk for contracting COVID in any place that you visit. The second resource is a personalized vacation health and safety checklist, which is a customized checklist that I'll be giving everyone who decides to come on this trip. Everyone who decides to come on this trip, here I go. Everyone who decides to come on this trip, they will get this checklist. It'll be customized to the Ghana trip. And if you're a client of mine, I do that for any trip that you book with me. So that is a Scylla travel service called the Vacation Health and Safety Checklist and the Vacation Health and Safety Guide. That is Book with Confidence. And how you work with me, this is how you reach me. I work by consultation. All you do is you just get on my calendar. That's all you need to do. How you get on my calendar is you just click the link, go to my website, go to the top above the fold, and get a courtesy discovery call, okay? And there's no charge for that. You get the consultation, I do the research for you, we sign the travel services agreement. That means that you're hiring me to book your travel for you, pay the fee, because yes, there is a fee. Because traveling these days is not like it used to be. And there are just too many hoops to jump through, too many rabbit holes to go down if you don't know what you're doing. But this is the kind of service that I offer to my clients. And then I book your trip. And you don't just get just one option. We work together on that trip. So you can get on my calendar by going to www.scyllatravel.com and get on my calendar. So that's all I have for today. This is Priscilla with Scylla Travel, where I help you live the dream. And just remember, VIPs, become a VIP. Sign up for the Ghana History, Heritage, and Safari Tours trip, November of 2021. Become a VIP. Get your $500 off. The link is in the post. And I just want to wish that you all have a great rest of your evening. Oh, and one more thing. Live the dream. Bye-bye.